Welcome to my video series on LGBTQ+ issues in primary schools. My name is Joanna Brett. I'm a trainee clinical psychologist working for First Steps, a CAMHS service in Hackney. Today's video is on the taboo of LGBTQ+ identities. Just so you know, in this video I use the terms gay and queer. I use the term gay here to mean same-gender attraction, and the word queer to mean any non-heterosexual attraction. I also talk more about these terms in video 6, getting comfortable with LGBTQ terminology. So if you want to learn more about them, you can always look ahead and then come back. So today I'm going to talk about the taboo of LGBTQ+ identities. What I mean when I say that is that LGBTQ+ identities are often treated as something that needs to be secret or off limits, particularly when it comes to children. This taboo develops from a series of ideas that build on each other like stepping stones. Firstly, the idea that the only good and normal kinds of romantic or sexual relationships between a man and a woman, and ideally a long term. Secondly, the idea that everyone is heterosexual until proven otherwise. Thirdly, the idea that to prove you aren't heterosexual, you need to have strong romantic or sexual feelings about someone of the same gender and to want and intend to act on them. When we take all those ideas together, it means that being gay or queer is tied up with romantic and sexual feelings and actions, and that being gay or queer is therefore not necessary or even appropriate to discuss with young children who aren't going to be having romantic or sexual feelings or relationships for many years. Just like with stereotypes, these ideas come from a number of sources. Sometimes from our own value systems, but also from the ideas of people and media all around us. This means that we can often hold these ideas without knowing we hold them. And we often hold them even if they go against what we truly believe in. Many people within the LGBTQ+ community also hold some of these ideas. Having these ideas isn't the problem. The problem comes from how they might affect what we do and say. If we don't know we have these ideas, we don't think them through, they're particularly likely to come out. One common way in which this happens is the way we talk about LGBTQ+ issues in front of children. For example, we might have a conversation where someone might say Aunt Jane is marrying her partner Bill. But they might say in a similar kind of conversation, Uncle John is marrying his partner Bill. Might be whispered, might seem like a secret. Or when you have two young children who come up to you and are holding hands and say, we're going to marry each other when we grow up. Maybe the reaction is quite different if that's a boy and a girl than it would be if there's two girls. Or when someone's thinking about their future, a young boy saying, I think I'd like to have a girlfriend one day. Maybe the adults around don't really react much to that. Whereas if the boy says, I think I'd like to have a boyfriend one day, they might be told something like, you're much too young to decide that now. Making it clear that topic's off limits. That's for adults only. So, when adults are tense or nervous when talking about LGBTQ+ issues, when they avoid talking about a topic or avoid explaining it, when they use a lot of euphemisms rather than talking directly, all of that sends a message to children that this topic is bad in some way, that it's dirty or shameful. Meanwhile, heterosexuality is talked about casually and cheerfully. The romantic milestones of heterosexual couples are celebrated openly, and even very young children are often gently teased about their plans for a heterosexual romance in the future. All of this sends a message that it's not all talk of romance that's off limits, just the bad kind of Now, while children at this age may indeed be many years away from thinking about an LGBTQ plus identity, some children do form a strong sense of who they're romantically interested in while they're still in primary school. And even if they don't, these messages can be taken on as part of someone's foundation, and it can make it hard to build their identity later. People who in adulthood aren't interested in any kind of relationships at all have also spoken about how damaging messages like this were to them as children, because they set up an expectation that having no relationships is a poor second place to having a heterosexual relationship. Regardless of whether or not a child grows up to develop an LGBTQ plus identity, primary schools are ideally placed to address the taboo that LGBTQ plus identities are bad, and to challenge the unhelpful assumptions embedded in society, and to support children to grow into kind and inclusive adults. Our next building builds on some of these ideas by talking about bullying and social exclusion. I hope you will join me for that video.